I made a post earlier this week and I talked about how what I said in the post basically, I don't remember exactly how I said it, but I said if you believe that money can't buy happiness, you just haven't given enough away yet. And I remember the first time that I heard this, that somebody said something to this means, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks because I always remember saying, and I believe money can't buy happiness. But at the same time, what I know to be true in my life, and I know to be just a universal law, is there's no greater fulfillment, there's no greater degree of satisfaction, which I believe results in happiness, than extreme generosity. And if this is something that you haven't experienced, and I really, that's the whole reason I'm creating this video, is because I want you to be able to experience the fulfillment that comes from a life of extreme generosity. And not only, it doesn't have anything to do with financials, and this is what people think about when they think about money and generosity. It has to do with what it does to your own spirit, your own heart, and how you look at the rest of the world. One of the biggest causes of divorce, relationship problems, is money fights and money issues in marriage. And I've been so blessed to not have that ever be an issue. Me and Ashton have never even had a negative conversation around money, even though we started our relationship off $436,000 in debt. We've never had a negative conversation regarding money. And I believe it's because we've always chosen generosity. And we've always chosen generosity. It's not because we're good people, but one thing it's done is it's changed our hearts and it's changed our mind and it's changed our attitude regarding this subject. The first thing it does is it eliminates the mentality of scarcity. It eliminates that mentality of there's only so much to go around and these people have that much and the little guy can't get ahead, and that's just bad thinking. It's stinking thinking. It's really it keeps you in a very bad place when it comes to wealth and money and all those things. We look at money and healthy people that have a healthy relationship with money, they look at money as something that circulates. It's not a bucket that you just put and it collects, and if you give some out of your bucket then you lose some. It's something that circulates in your life, and it's something that, the thing is, when it comes to this subject, really do good to people. And don't do good to people because you get anything back. You do good to people because it's the right thing to do. And that's the way the universe is wired. That's the way we're created. That when we do good to people, it just comes back to us. And it comes back tenfold. It really does. So this idea of scarcity, and there's only so much, is just a bad way of thinking. And generosity and extreme generosity keeps you from thinking this way. When you're focused on other people and focused on giving, it puts your heart in a posture towards others and caring more about what others want, what others need, and all that just comes back to you. And it's a hard thing to really explain. I believe it's probably more quantum than something that we can actually quantify physically. But I just know in my own life, I know in people that practice this, they 100% agree with this. The second thing is, it eliminates greed. It eliminates your need to want more money. If you really knew me, if you really know my heart, my wife's heart, we don't think about acquiring money. It's not something that's even on the back of our mind. It's not something we worry about. It's not something that we aspire to get more of. It's we understand, do good to people. Do good to people because it's the right thing to do, and ultimately that comes back. The final one is one of the most important things because we live in a materialistic society that just wants more and more and more and more, is discontentment. Extreme generosity will kill out any levels of discontentment in your life. And being content with what you have, being secure in what you have, is one of the most, and I'm not just saying you're happy about thinking you're happy about what you have. It's really in your heart of hearts being content about what you have. When your neighbor, when your friend, when your best friend gets something that's awesome, that's cooler than yours, you're genuinely happy for that person. There's no amount of, oh, I needed to get that now, or I need to get something to one up that. There's none of that. And when you're extremely generous with people, it weeds all these things out of your life, and it just makes things so much less stressful. This is one of the biggest hacks about life, one of the biggest things. If people could just grasp, we would have a happier world. I really, really believe it. If people could eliminate this mentality of scarcity, if we could really, and it all comes down to just doing good for other people. When we think that we need to acquire and consume and acquire and consume and acquire and consume, it leads to just us thinking about ourselves. where if we flip that on its head and we start paying attention to just other people and providing for other people's needs and doing what's best for other people with the proper intention in our heart, it just comes back to you. And it eliminates all that worry, it eliminates all that greed, it eliminates all that discontentment. So I encourage you guys, listen to this again, listen to this a couple times. It's just made such a big difference in our lives and in my life. I hope you guys know whenever I come out with this kind of stuff, it's all out of love. I just want to make a difference in your life. So I want you guys to just live a better, more fulfilling life. I love you all. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.